Hey guys, Ty here. Hope you're doing well. And we got a little bit of a different video for you today because I want to introduce you to somebody who I've come to admire over the last few months. And so if you're out there and you're inundated with tons of videos about how to grow your channel from the gurus with all the tips and optimization and hacks, and it's a little bit overwhelming or frustrating because it's really difficult to implement, I want to introduce you to somebody who's doing none of it, who's still being successful on YouTube. And I thought we would maybe dissect her channel a little bit. And I'll just give you my take on how I think she's being successful in the hopes of inspiring you to think differently about your journey. So, this is Jess. This is her YouTube channel. She has 20,000 subscribers. She's been at it for almost 4 years now. She posts quite a bit, about 2 to 3 times per week, maybe a little bit more, and she has a gardening channel. Now, we're going to do a usual channel review deconstruction, and I'm going to step you through the different things that I would look at when giving somebody else advice on their channel, and we'll see how much of it she's not doing. And again, this is not a dig at Jess. In fact, this is the opposite. I'm praising her because I think what she's doing is phenomenal. And I'll just plant the flag to say I don't know Jess. We don't have a personal relationship. This is just an outside observer opinion. Okay, so at her channel page, looking at her banner, it's a picture of her garden, which is very apt, right? She's a gardening channel, so might as well. But unlike a lot of other channels, including my own, she's not trying to sell anything. She's not including a tagline or a big, bold transformation or promise. She's not asking you to subscribe to her channel or advertising when she posts her videos. It's just a very plain Jane gardening picture. When you look at her channel description, you really also don't see much going on. Normally, people would put social media links, links to their website, links to their newsletter, links to a product, a course, one-on-ones, whatever. She's linking out to her siblings' YouTube channels. And one, that's super cool that all of her siblings do YouTube as well. But number two, it just shows this kind of wholesome family orientation that she has on YouTube, which is rare. And then the only thing that I'll call out is that she does have a link for her new album. She's also a singer-songwriter. She has a separate YouTube channel for that. That channel is not nearly as popular as this one. So she's kind of pushing traffic that way, which should be expected. But ultimately, her description is real life bargain gardening, successes and failures, sharing my garden, music, and family. So very wholesome, very short, very to the point. And yeah, that's her channel description. Now, when you look at some of her videos on her channel, we'll just click into one of them. And in the description itself, what do you notice? Well, number one, there's really no description. The only thing she's doing is, again, calling attention to her new album or her YouTube music channel. There's no SEO, keywords, tags. There's no robust description. There's no chapter markers. There's no affiliate links. She doesn't do any sponsored content at all on her channel that I found. And so far as I can tell, she doesn't have monetization turned on. There's no mid-roll ads to be triggered. There's no channel memberships to join, and there's no supers that you can give her. So I mention all of that because this ties into this larger sort of narrative that I'm inferring that she's not doing YouTube to make money, okay? And that's a big difference between what I do and what a lot of you guys who are watching probably do and what she's doing. And I know that's a huge contrast, and it would be like, well, why are we even talking about her channel if it doesn't relate in some way to helping us grow? But I do think there are some folks out there, and you might be one of them, where monetization isn't a priority. It's like a nice afterthought, and you really want to do things on your own terms, in your own way, in your own authentic voice. And that's why I showed Jess's channel, because from my outside observer opinion, it feels to me like she is being the most real, true version of herself and doing it on her own terms in her own way. And I want you to see this because it could inspire you to take a similar path. So coming back to her channel, one thing I've noticed too about the type of content that she's making is she's only doing long form videos. She doesn't do any shorts. In fact, she's only posted 2 shorts total. She's only created 2 playlists, but she hasn't really updated them. And then she doesn't really do any community posts. She only has 2 community posts as well. And of course, there are no live streams on her channel. So her focus is 100% on long form content. As we look at her content, again, you'll see she's posting every 2 days, potentially sometimes every other day. And then her videos are quite long, anywhere from 25 minutes, almost all the way up to an hour in some cases. And as you look at her titles and her thumbnails, let me ask you, what do you notice? The one thing that sticks out to me with respect to her thumbnails is they're almost all garden related. And in fact, that makes sense for a gardening channel. But what you're not seeing is high contrast color treatment. you're seeing probably still images taken from the video itself without a lot of treatment done to them. She's often not in the thumbnails. I would say it's about 50-50 where she's in the thumbnails. And when she's in the thumbnails, it's not like she is the primary subject. She's not overly bright in the thumbnails, and she's not overly emotive, expressing some sort of click trigger that you'd want to tap on the thumbnail for. When you look at her titles themselves, again, they're not clickbaity. She's not keyword stuffing. She's not trying to grab for your attention. They're very almost plain and basic in a way. And here's just some examples. This one right here, a regular day in the garden cleaning, weeding, trimming, and dividing. Here's another one, cleaning a Virginia creeper woods line. I mean, are these things that are overly curiosity inducing? Are these things that are opening up a loop? Are they tying into a pain point that their viewer might want to watch the video for? The answer is no. These are very much almost like vlog style videos. And when you click into them, you kind of see the format. Normally she'll do is she'll open up the video, greeting the viewer, just saying hello, and then talking a little bit about what she's going to be working on. So typically she'll have shots like this where it's her holding the camera, filming herself talking for a few minutes. Then there'll be some shots of the garden, of her walking around, pointing out things. And then there'll be shots of her actually working in the garden, just actually doing the work. Oftentimes it's her talking. Oftentimes there's some nice music underneath, some acoustic music that's often soothing and really easy to listen to. And when you look at the number of views she gets, again, 20,000 subscribers, she's getting anywhere from 8 to 20,000 views per video. And a lot of her videos get close to 10,000 views on the single, on day number 1 of it going live. And so one of the things this implies to me is that she has a very loyal community on her channel. There are people who are coming in, day out to watch her content as she posts it. And I think that is so amazing and admirable. And it's just a unique, refreshing channel to look at because it doesn't follow any of the regular cookie cutter advice that we see out there. One thing that's noteworthy about her channel, and maybe you guys have something similar if you're in a field where there's seasonality, you can see here her subscriber growth since she started. I'll just walk you through this here. So in November of 2021, she started out, she had about 16 subscribers on her channel. Come the next springtime is when she got to her first 100. So it was about June of 2022 is when she had her first 100 subscribers. So about 7 months in is when she got her first 100 subs. And then the summer months came and her channel blew up to about 5,000 subscribers. Then again, once the fall and winter came, it kind of flatlined. Again, the summer months of 2023, it grew another 5,000. This has been a cycle for her over the last 4 years. It's about 5,000 subscribers every year. And I show you this because she's not going viral. She doesn't have like one video carrying the load of views on her channel that's pulling in the vast majority of subscribers. She has probably a very slow burn, a very slow uptick during those winter months, but then a big spike during the summer. And that's because people are more interested in her type of content and they meet her for the first time and then they subscribe. So just more food for thought there. But the number of views she gets is amazing. She's over 5 million views, which is about 1.25 million views per year as she's been posting. And there's probably a lot of work that goes into the production of the video, but she's not doing anything special or groundbreaking. As far as I can tell, she is using a camera. I'm not sure what mic she's using, but she's probably just piecing things together afterwards to make a compelling story arc for that particular video. Another nuance and quirk is that she doesn't respond to her comments. And I know like everyone always says respond to your comments, but for a lot of her videos, and this might be a function of her not having the time because her channel's grown so large, is she doesn't usually respond to her comments, but her viewers show up nonetheless. She has a ton of engagement on her video. She gets a ton of likes. And when you read through some of these comments, you realize how connected her community is to her. They know her parents, they know her siblings, they know her property, and they're really invested in her journey and the effort that she's putting in to create this space for them. Okay, so what do we take away from looking at Jess's channel in this way? It's clear that she's not following any of the traditional advice that the gurus would suggest on how to grow your channel, but the question is, does this feel more aligned with you? Does this feel more wholesome Does this feel more authentic? Because if it does, then I would encourage you to watch some of her videos. I'll put a link for her channel in the description and just take a look at how she's making her content. Take a look at how she shows up and how she treats her viewers. And that might be a good cue or some inspiration that you can then take in your own content, because not every channel on YouTube needs to be hyper optimized. Not every channel on YouTube needs to be dead set on making money. It just depends on your goals and your ambitions, right? So I think she is just a great example of, one, being real, two, being relentless about a hobby or a passion that you have and posting irrespective of whether you think you're going to get views or not. Three, having so much conviction that it doesn't matter what the algorithm thinks. It matters what you think, and it matters how passionate you are about your topics. And as long as you're in some ways being helpful to your viewer, or in her case, creating a space for other people to congregate and feel safe and have a great topic to discuss amongst themselves, and also maybe just feel a little bit of peace and light in an otherwise noisy and sometimes hard to manage world. I think she's creating that for her viewers. So, anyways, I hope this is helpful to you guys for doing this kind of breakdown. If there's another channel that you found out there that you think is a really good inspiration for other people to follow, let me know. I'd love to take a look at it. And with that, I'll let you guys go. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you in the next one.